To show you how phony the news really is in this country, a lot of time is spent talking about CNN, mostly as a foil. Jake Tapper is sort of their marquee, and Jake Tapper was giving a paid speech, I believe it was to the Association of Travel Agents, of which there are, what, about 12? He gets paid for this, I'm sure, these corporate speeches and these association speeches. I won't do them. But he does them, being an objective, free press type. And he said during this, and we'll talk about this in greater length on Levin TV tonight, and he says this is the golden age of journalism. What? This is the golden age of journalism. Talk about your self-serving narcissist. There he is. This is the golden age of journalism? Is this a joke? They're serious. So they believe taking out Donald Trump is what their duty is. Their ideological and so-called professional duty. I'll get to the callers. You folks hang in there. Well, it's interesting. Every Tuesday morning, I get the ratings for the various TV programs. And I get them for the weekend. Why? Well, because Life, Liberty, and Levin's on Sunday night at 10 p.m. Eastern. And I get to look at what the ratings were on Sunday for Fox, for CNN, and MSNBC. I also, from time to time, get the ratings for the whole week, and I can see what's going on in these networks for the entire week. And this is just an example of what goes on. Nobody has reported this, and nobody will, because my name's not Rachel Maddow. So, Life, Liberty, and Levin is on from 10 p.m. to 11 p.m. Eastern Time, Sunday night. Sunday night. We had 1.521 million viewers. Over 1.5 million viewers. Sunday night, it was the biggest show on Fox all day Sunday, on CNN all day Sunday, on MSNBC all day Sunday. It's a show at 10 p.m. Eastern Time. It got the highest ratings overall of all viewers. But that's not even my point. Sunday, 10 p.m. Eastern. It is a higher rated show, thanks to you, than every single show on CNN. Every single show on CNN. And it's not even close. They average about 1 million prime time. It's multiples of the Morning Joe. Multiples. You won't see that anywhere in the media. But that's not my point either. What is the purpose of CNN if it does not get ratings, even in prime time? What is the purpose of CNN if it doesn't get ratings, even in prime time? How's it making money? Who's holding it up? I think this is an interesting question. Their ratings are going south. This guy Zucker, who's the head of it, I think they renewed his contract. How much do these hosts get for losing ratings? The only reason CNN exists is not to get ratings, because it doesn't get ratings. It's not to provide news, because it doesn't provide news. It's to advance the left-wing agenda, the progressive ideological agenda. That is the only reason it exists. So they're not protecting freedom of the press. They're advancing an ideological, opinionated viewpoint, which is fine, but they're dishonest. When Jake Tapper, in a paid speech, I assume it's a paid speech. If not, Jake, you can call up. You listen every night. It's a paid, unless he's got time to kill, he needs to give a speech to the Convention of Travel Agents, all 7 of them. Gives a paid speech to the Convention of Travel Agents in Washington, D.C., talking about the golden age of journalism. They really believe this. The golden age of journalism. Now, usually, ladies and gentlemen, you look back at an era and you decide if it's a golden age or not. But Jake has declared that this is the golden age of journalism. And he did more than that. He also declared that it's his duty to unravel the lies, particularly this president. And he went through a whole list of character flaws of the president of the United States. You know, being an objective, nonpartisan as he is, coming out of the Democrat ranks, coming out of the ranks of Handgun Control Inc. Incredible. Then he deigns to give advice to his so-called fellow professionals. He says the vast majority of journalists are superb. Remember, it's the golden age. But then there's some, he says, who would get very nervous and very scared of the president. And they shouldn't. And they spend too much time talking about themselves. Nobody spends more time in the media talking about himself than Jake Tapper. When he goes on those nightly or late night comedy shows about what he does and how he stands between us and tyranny and so forth and so on. But here's what Jake doesn't want you to know. Nobody's watching him. Nobody's watching Jake Tapper. Nobody's watching Don Lemon. Nobody's watching Wolf Blitzer. Who are the rest? I don't even know who the hell the rest of them are. Nobody's watching them. Maybe that's why it's the golden age of journalism, because nobody's watching these frauds. I'll be right back.
Mark Levin.
I want the Levin family really to step up now. All you patriots. There are things we can do to help. MikeFlynnDefenseFund.org. MikeFlynnDefenseFund.org. I'm just hoping everybody who can hear me goes to that site. And if it's slow or if it kicks you out, you know, you got to be persistent. Or give it a little time and go back in 15 minutes or something. But don't be deterred, please. I mean, the guy served us for 33 years. And he needs help, I'm sure. Everything I'm reading. You go to MikeFlynnDefenseFund.org. You hit the Contribute tab. It takes you to the Contribute page. And at the bottom of the page is the button for Contribute. And then you go to, it takes you to the PayPal site to make your donation. And I strongly encourage you to do this today. To not put it off, to do it today. Strongly encourage you. We need to make sure that our heroes know that we have their backs. And we need to make sure that the people who also conduct themselves as Mr. Mueller has, Mr. Stroke did, they need to know that there are millions and millions of us who are going to do what we can to stand up to them. We're stronger than them as a group. 99%